Hey everyone, Tyler here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the RØDE Videomicro II, a follow-up to probably my favorite onboard shotgun microphone, which I have right here, the RØDE Videomicro. The reason I love this thing so much is because, number one, it was super small and lightweight, and it's really good for like vlogging, especially like being out in public. I much prefer to have like a smallest microphone and camera package as possible while getting decent quality. And then it also didn't have an internal battery, so you didn't need to remember to charge it or anything like that. It didn't sound as good as the Videomic NTG, which I also have, but I just love the convenience of this little thing. The biggest gripe I had with it was a pretty weak microphone in the sense that you kind of had to push the preamps on your camera to be able to get good audio out of it, which would introduce some noise because cameras don't have good preamps. And I also thought it sounded pretty thin and anemic. Now we get the RØDE Videomicro II, and this pretty much improves on this microphone in every single way. And I wanted to make this video to kind of answer the question, is this worth the upgrade if you already have this, or if you are looking at this microphone, if it's worth paying a few extra bucks to get the RØDE Videomicro II. So we're gonna go ahead and try to answer that in this video, but first let's talk about what it ships with. So you obviously get the microphone and you get this new shock mount, which we'll talk about here in a second, and then you get a TRS to TRS cable, a TRS to TRRS cable to be able to plug into smartphones and tablets and all that kind of stuff. And then you get two windshields. You get a foam windshield and a furry windshield, which is the furry windshield is pretty much what you should use unless it's like absolutely zero wind, because this thing really helps with like blocking wind noise and stuff like that. So with everything it ships with, it is priced at $79 US, which I think is a pretty good bargain for what you get and the audio quality of this. So real quick, let's take a look at the design of this microphone, and it follows the same kind of aesthetic and design as the newer shotgun microphones from RØDE. So you got the NTG5 and the Videomic NTG and the Videomic Go. It kind of has that same design and aesthetic. And when you compare the design to the old Videomicro, the original one, you can see that the diameter of the Videomicro II is the same the entire way, similar to the NTG5 and stuff like that. Whereas the original Videomicro has this little like inset right here, and this was like another pain point to me with this microphone. Not necessarily design, but getting the windscreen on the microphone, it was kind of a pain because you put it over and then you thought, oh yeah, it's on, but no, you had to like pull it even more to get it into this little recessed part right here. Whereas on this windscreen, it pretty much just slides on and you're good to go. So definitely a bonus design right there over the original Videomicro. Now the next biggest design difference between these two microphones is the fact that you have this new shock mount right here. RØDE is calling it their new Helix isolation mount, and it does a really good job of isolating bumps and knocks and all that kind of stuff. But the thing I really like about it is just the footprint. I mean, the design is actually kind of cool and futuristic looking, but the design of the footprint is something that I really appreciate about it, because it's just this older shock mount is just kind of got this like, I feel like I always had to take the microphone off to be able to pack it nicely in a camera bag. Whereas with this, I don't feel like I have to remove it. You can remove it from the microphone if you want to, but because of how compact this design is, it's easy to just kind of throw in a camera bag and be on your merry way. Now, as I said, you can remove the microphone from the shock mount here, so if you decide to, for whatever reason you want to do that, you can. And now that I have both of them out, you can kind of see the size differences between the two microphones. From a length perspective, I think they're almost identical in length. Now, the one similarity these do share is the fact that they have no battery in them, and they can both be powered just with plug-in power, so you don't have to charge them up or anything like that. But that's pretty much the only real similarity between the two. Otherwise, the Videomicro II is pretty much an improvement in every other way. Now, the most important improvement is obviously audio quality. So In my opinion, I think these are really good microphones, and I see these as vlogging microphones. So that being said, let's go outside and walk around with both these microphones so we can get an audio quality comparison between these two microphones, and then we'll kind of wrap back up here in the studio on my final thoughts between the two microphones. All right, it's freaking cold out here. I'm gonna make this quick. Okay, so right now I've got both of the microphones running into the Canon R5, and I'm using a splitter cable that coincidentally RØDE actually makes as well. And the reason why I'm doing that is so I can just kind of bounce between the two microphones for this simple audio test. They're both gonna be mono, but it's not really that big of a deal for this kind of test since they're not stereo microphones. So right now you're listening to the RØDE Video Micro, the original one, and it sounds okay, but as soon as I flip over to the RØDE Video Micro II, you can already tell a much richer tone to it. At least to my ears, it sounds much richer and more full and a little bit more true to life than the RØDE Video Micro. There's someone down there literally running in shorts right now. People out here are just crazy, but I'm freezing, so that's gonna wrap up the vloggy style things, and we'll get a couple little studio comparisons, how they sound in the studio, and then we'll wrap this video up. It's freaking crazy running in shorts right now. It's so freaking cold. It's like there's literally people skiing. There's people skiing, which is like, you know, more proper thing to do right now. And someone else running in shorts because it's freezing. People are crazy out here. Now, I should mention that RØDE did send this microphone out to me to review. However, they don't like see the video beforehand. I'm not getting paid or anything, but pretty freaking cool that RØDE reached out and was like, hey, can you review this? And yeah, pretty big honor. But I'm cold, so let's go back in the studio. Okay, that was cold. Back here in the studio, we're gonna do a quick comparison between the two microphones here in the studio so you can kind of get an idea how those sound, and then we can kind of talk about my final thoughts and what I think about the two and how they compare. This is the original Video Micro. Test 1, 2, 3. My name is Tyler Edwards, and you should subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is the RØDE Video Micro II. Testing 1, 2, 3. My name is Tyler Edwards. You should subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so in my opinion, I think the RØDE Video Micro II, based on what I'm hearing, is it just sounds much richer and fuller and true to life than the RØDE Video Micro. I think the Video Micro, especially compared to this, just sounds kind of really thin and anemic. Whereas, like I said, the Video Micro 2 just sounds much richer and fuller. And the other benefit of the Video Micro 2 is the fact that, well, it's a louder microphone. And the benefit there is you don't have to push the internal preamps on your camera as much to get a good quality audio sound. And the benefit there is, well, camera preamps typically are not the best and they can be pretty noisy. So any way to reduce that is better. So with this microphone, you're gonna get richer, clearer, fuller, and less noise than the RØDE Video Micro. So in my opinion, I honestly think it's worth getting the Video Micro 2 over the Video Micro. And even if you have the RØDE Video Micro already, the original one, I still think it's worth upgrading to the Video Micro 2 just because of how much better it sounds, and it doesn't break the bank. I mean, it's $79 US, at least at the launch. Prices always change, but I think it's worth upgrading to the Video Micro 2 even if you have the original Video Micro. Well, that's gonna do it for me. Hope you found this helpful or useful. I'm really stoked on this microphone. It's gonna be definitely my new vlogger going forward. So yeah, appreciate you watching. Thank you, RØDE, for sending this out to me, and stay tuned for more. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.